Most marketing teams don't have a technology problem. They've got a human problem. We buy tools to save time instead of buying tools, well, that make our time worth saving. So let's talk about the way marketers spend money on MarTech. I mean, think about it. Businesses gleefully spend big money, drunken sailor type money on logo redesign or brand re-architecture, but when it comes to investing in the stuff that would actually make our people's work better, elevated, well, suddenly the business needs proof that somehow something else, headcount, another piece of technology, some process is going to be made obsolete and disappear off our cost balance sheet, right? That magical ROI. And hey, I get it. When it comes to bucketing different expenditures, I'm the same way. I'll drop a small fortune on tequila and tacos at a 5-star resort, but ask me to replace a screwdriver? Nah, I'll use the butter knife and risk tetanus. So marketers buy technology a little bit like I look at cars, right? I don't love cars. I don't care about them all that much. So I end up buying what I'd call minimum viable car, something that gets me from A to B. And while that's fine for me, if I was buying a car for my wife, which of course I don't because I value my, let's just call it safety, it's not going to work out very well. Think of it in this ironic way. In marketing, our whole focus is to delight. We obsess on how to make design amazing customer experiences in our products. But when it comes to our own teams, what does the business almost always purchase for the team? Well, minimum viable car. Something that gets us from A to B, sure, but doesn't make us love the ride. And while we might argue, okay, well, we're not really supposed to fall in love with our MarTech, well, the externality of that is that that's when we start designing our marketing around the tools and not around the change we actually want to create. Because if you view tech purely as a cost saver instead of a creativity multiplier, you end up letting the software drive while you sit in the back seat, quietly resenting the GPS system. Yeah, here's a shift that I really think can work and maybe something you can think about as you plan for that new technology purchase in 2026. Design the change first. What's the elevated human work that you want to see? Then pick the tech that supports that elevated work. See, let's talk about how this normally plays out. So especially as we're sort of thinking about finalizing budgets and plotting our 2026 grand strategy, here's the usual pattern. Team gets super excited about a bold new marketing idea. Everybody's buzzing. Then everybody goes, wait a minute, do we have the tech to do that? And now suddenly the idea isn't about creativity or even process anymore. It's about procurement. The conversation shifts from, well, what could we do to what can the tool handle? Cue the spreadsheets, cue the paralysis, cue the minimum viable tool exercise, and boom, we're back to square one trying to fit human ingenuity into a software license. So it's wild, right? I mean, we start every year full of possibility and end up debating whether our DAM, our CDP, our CRM, whatever it is, can integrate with the 4 other acronyms that we already regret buying. And of course, this year, every single one of those conversations comes with a side order of AI. Should we buy an AI platform? Should we stick with the AI inside the thing we already have? Wait, did our other technology just add more AI features last week? By the time the meeting's over, everybody's dizzy from acronym fatigue. So, okay, here's a metaphor that kind of sums this whole thing up and just really puts into perspective for me. So you've heard the saying, a boat is a hole in the water that you throw money into. Yeah, when you want to buy a boat, what is a boat? It's a hole in the water that you throw money into. Now, I love that because, well, unlike cars, I actually love boats, and my wife reminds me of it every time I start scrolling boat listings like I'm about to become a professional sailor. And the saying is true, by the way. When you buy a boat, you're not just buying the boat. You're buying the dock, the trailer, the maintenance, the fuel, the repairs, the weird sea salt smell that never leaves your clothes. And marketing tech is kind of the same way. It's not just the tool, of course. It's the very human cost of training, the implementation, the learning curve, the admin overhead. And if you're not budgeting or thinking about all of that, well, you're not budgeting for success. You're budgeting for the resentment. And so when leaders go, we don't care if it elevates the work, what will make it cheaper? They're actually missing the whole point. You see, smart investment in tech isn't about just avoiding costs. It's about pursuing the value. It actually does matter that the team will want to use it, how they will use it, when they will use it. So buy the boat if it makes your life better. You buy the tech if it makes your team's work better. Let me give you an example of that. B2B company I know that has been trapped, truly trapped in a software selection process since January. 10 months later, they produced exactly 0 creative campaigns. And why? Well, because they're still trying to pick the tool that will help them create creative marketing campaigns, right? So if buying more software is not going to magically make your 2026 dreams come true, what will? It's simple. Focus on the change first, the elevated work, the change, then the technology that supports it. Here are 3 shifts that might help you make that tech selection and elevate the human work. So 1, orchestrate connected experiences, not siloed handoffs. What I mean by that is you can stop organizing your meetings around what was created and start planning around what's being created. If your audience data, lead data, customer data, well, if they all live in different universes, you're not orchestrating. You don't understand what's being created. You're just speed dating your own CRM system. 2, shift to meaning-driven operations, not just data-driven ones. That email address that somebody used to download your white paper, yeah, the one that's mickeymouse@gmail.com, that's not data. That's just a cry for help. I mean, data without any meaning, they're just numbers. Meaning comes from interaction. Figure out what the right changes you need to make to develop the right relationship with your customers first, and the process, the insight, that follows, and the tech follows that. And then 3, organize for agility, not speed. Agility is the ability to pivot with purpose, not just speed. Spend less time cranking out more stuff and more time crafting the stories and using tech that help you craft those deeper stories that make people care. That's how you move smarter, not faster. And yeah, what about AI? Yeah, AI, the obligatory AI question for 2026. Look, it's not a new thing anymore. It's not a new thing that you need to buy. It's a thing that's going to quietly invade everything you already own. It's like glitter. Once it's in the system, it is everywhere. So instead of asking, should we buy AI? Ask, are we good at the thing AI is supposed to help us with? Because if your team doesn't know how to write or do marketing automation or analyze results or tell stories now, AI alone is not going to save you. It's just going to help you do the wrong thing faster. Focus on orchestration and the tech that can help you do that, how your content, your data, and context flow together. Get the process right, and AI will enhance it. Get it wrong, and AI will magnify your chaos. And please, please, take your time. There's no first mover advantage here. Measure twice, click once. So as you're sketching out your 2026 plans, ask yourself this. What do you actually want your team to feel when they come to work next year? Do you want them managing that level of their tech, or do you want them elevated by your tech? Because at the end of the day, technology should make the human work better, not cheaper, not faster, better. That's the whole point. You want to go a little deeper on how to make that shift, how to design the change before you buy the tool? I've linked the full article that I wrote in the post. Give it a read, then go elevate the human before you buy the tech. It's your story. Tell it well. I'll see you again next week.